Today we're talking for the next 40 minutes all about posing tips. Now, this is not going to be, especially if you were here yesterday, it's not going to be how to like tilt and turn and pose and smile and get that perfect S curve and perfect shoulders back and chin out. It's not going to be about that. It's going to be about getting the actual expression from a couple. And we're going to have a couple of up here in a little bit. It's no use if we're really good at taking pictures and we're really good at posing people and great at lighting them, if we cannot get a genuine expression from their face, because then they're just going to look at that photo and think, oh, that's nice. Vanessa knows how to take a nice photo. But what do we want to happen when they look at the photo? We want them to remember how they felt. Because when they attach some kind of emotion to a photo, that's when they fall in love with it. That's when they make sure that their album is larger. That's when they make sure they print that photo larger. And it's our job as photographers to pull that information out of them. This is Michael and Ashley. I absolutely adored Michael and Ashley. When they came in for the consultation, they were just one of those couples that, like, I want to shoot your wedding. Like, please let me shoot your wedding. You are just so adorable. So they hired me. We went to go photograph their engagement session. And the entire time, I'm doing everything I normally do. I'm telling my really corny jokes that usually get people to laugh. I'm doing my poses that usually come out nice. But for some reason, I couldn't connect with them. It's as if they were on another planet. Have you ever had them where you're just shooting and like where are you? Because you're not here with me. And it wasn't until the last 5 minutes of the session, and I don't know if it was a pose I put them in or they were just comfortable by then maybe, but I finally found them. I finally found their personalities. I saw Ashley especially, I just saw her shoulders drop at one point and her relax. I shot as many pictures as I could in those 5 last minutes that we had. And then I turned to my assistant after they left and I said, Jay, that was awkward, right? And she's like, wasn't your best? I'm like, thanks, appreciate that. But she was right. All of that was my fault. It was my fault that I didn't know how to connect to my clients. So now, and you're going to want to take a photo of the screen of this one. Now, I send out a questionnaire to my clients. This sets the tone for everything I do with them. And without this, I don't know if they're the kind of couple that wants their fun and flirtatious side to come out. Maybe I'm trying to pose them in this super sultry, romantic kind of pose, but they're like really quirky and outdoorsy, and it doesn't work. They're not going to connect with it. It might be a picture that'll win you an award here at Imaging USA, but it's not winning you anything with your client. So these are the 4 questions that I ask before every single shoot. Number 1, I ask them to describe the other person, because there's no better way than to find out how to photograph someone than to see them through the eyes of the person that loves them the most. So ask them, what is it that you love about your significant other? Number 2 is kind of like a duh, ask them what they want. Hey, what side of your relationship do you want to capture? Maybe they are really outdoorsy and fun, but they want to capture their relaxed couple style. Ask them what they plan on doing with the photos. The last thing you want is to not give a photo that would be a canvas that they would put up on an easel, and that was in their minds, and they were planning to do that, and then you didn't take a photo that would look good on a nice canvas on an easel at the wedding. Number 3 I really like because it tells me not only about who they are together, but it tells me, where should we do this engagement session? Where should we do this engagement session? What do you guys do on any given date night? Are you just Netflix and chill kind of people? Great, then let's go somewhere, maybe to a coffee shop where you guys are just relaxing and hanging out. Are you really outdoorsy and you like to go take your dog for a run? Then wonderful, let's go out to a park or somewhere where I can catch that side of you, maybe even bring the dog. But all of these questions are just helping me figure out who they are and what their couple style is like. You have to do that preliminary work. It makes a world of a difference. Now, I don't have any of those moments where I'm looking at a couple and I don't know how to reach them because I have plenty of things they've already told me are important to them. Now, I do have a posing guide that you can download at the link here, or you can just go to my Instagram, which is just Vanessa Joy, and there's a swipe up in the stories. Posing guides are good. I'm not telling you that posing guides are not useful. I'm simply saying that there's a better way to get real emotion out of your clients. This is a good place to start, but we want to get real emotion out of your clients. All right. I definitely want to bring up our models if they are ready. That would be great. So what we're going to do is sort of like a tag team here. We're going to talk about a concept, and then we're going to do it with our models that are coming up. And by the way, these models, they're not a couple. They are not a couple. So if we can get some real emotion out of people that aren't a couple, that are strangers, I think we can do it with our clients, right? Hey, how you doing? This is Alexandra, and we've got Manuel here, and they're going to be our super flirtatious, cute, engaged couple. All right, so first thing, when I'm photographing an engagement session, you can't stop talking. You have to talk. I mean, just put that down there. If I'm photographing you guys, go ahead, just get together. You're going to face me this way. Just get together, like back arms around each other. Yeah, face me. So Manuel, you can go right next to her. Yep, back arm around each other. Yep, this hand's going to go up here on his chest. This hand's going to go here. This is like that typical engagement, right? She's got her ring here. Like, you have to take this photo. Mom's going to love it. You hate it, but mom really loves it. Now, if I'm posing them and I'm just like, how awkward is that? Do you know what happens when you don't speak to your clients continually? They start speaking to themselves. And they think, oh my God, am I doing something wrong with my hands? Is my hair all messed up? Does she think I look fat? And am I really bad at this, right? You have to make sure that you keep talking. We're gonna set my camera to make sure that you guys can relax for a second. When you are using these methods that I'm about to show you, you have to make sure that your camera and your gear is working with you. We're gonna introduce a lot of movement to the two of them. So I can't have a really shallow depth of field because they will be moving a lot. I need to have a very fast focusing lens that'll keep up and a fast focusing camera that'll keep up as well. So right now I have the 1DX Mark III. And if you guys have seen anything about this, if you can go to my YouTube channel, just YouTube/Vanessa Joy. And one of the things you will notice about this is that it has a drastically improved focusing system. You can use it one of two ways. You can just use it where we've got some head detection and face detection, just looking through the optical viewfinder, or you can go into live view and there's additional eye detection as well. So we can actually track them, and if you really want to break down another barrier of communication with your clients, you don't have to be behind here talking to them much anymore. You could be right here if you want to, and actually communicate with them. It's little things. If you're doing that, you do need to have a higher shutter speed, so keep that in mind, because this is certainly not the most stable way to hold the camera. But it's little things like that that will just break down barriers of communication and awkwardness with your clients. The next thing we need to do is think about the light. I was going to actually have this umbrella lighting them, but I decided I've got this nice white wall here, and I would much rather a very large light source that will be nice and soft on them, no matter kind of where they move around, versus a smaller one. So I'm just going to take this out, put this over to the side. We don't need this for now. And we'll point this to the wall. I think I'm going to switch with you guys. I think you guys are going to be over here, and I'll be over on this side. Yeah, that'll be good. And you guys, I'll take this out of your way. You're going to end up being towards this side. All right, we're not too worried about backgrounds here. It's not what we're talking about. I just want to have a nice even light for them. So here is how we set that up. I'm gonna bounce the light off of the wall here, but I don't wanna put it here because then when it bounces back, it's just gonna like side light them. And more often than not, one of them is gonna cast a shadow on the other. And that doesn't work well if I'm trying to get them to relax and I have to be like, oh no, wait, inch your face forward a half an inch because you're in a shadow. So I'm gonna tilt this down a little bit. And then we're gonna point it more towards this side so that when it comes back, it's a little bit more flat. I think this should be good. All right, this is a ProPhoto B10, by the way, that I've got lighting here, and it's a strobe and a continuous light. Right now, I have my ISO set to 200. My shutter speed is at the max sync speed, which is 250. Again, I want a little bit faster of a shutter speed so I can freeze the motion in addition to the flash doing that for me as well. I'm just taking a quick test so I can get my exposure. All right, and then I have this set on to TTL. So we got a little bit of shadow going on, so I think I'm just gonna point it this way and see if it bounces off of that. We're only at 7.3 right now. Let's give this a try. I'm just gonna raise my ISO a little bit to give my light a break so it doesn't have to be, now it's only at 6.1, and we've got much better photo. If we can actually pull that photo up on the screen. You wanna put this here? All right. Always trying to tether me down, man. All right, so this is pretty good. I still have a little bit of, shadow on their face, but it's enough where I can move them around, all right? Do I got enough space here? All right, so we know that we're not gonna stop talking. I have a bunch of different topics that are my go-to topics when I am talking with my clients. And again, I'm keeping in mind the things I know about them as well. But the top row here, these are all things that I ask. We can go back to my keynote. The top row are all things that I ask them in transition, while we are walking. Can we go back to my keynote? So while we're walking from location to location, I'll ask them things like, how's the wedding planning going? Did you pick out your bridesmaids' dresses yet? Just something so it's not, again, this awkward silence as you're going from place to place. All right, but the second line of stuff I have down here, these are the things that I want to do to get a reaction out of them. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, the first thing that I do with my clients, pretty much every single time that I shoot, you guys are gonna come right here, start there. The very first thing I do, I usually have a 135 lens on, so it's far away. My clients are far away. I'm not like, hey, how you doing? Let's get real close up in your face the first time I photograph them. You guys are just gonna hold hands and you're gonna walk away from me. So you can turn around and walk that direction. Perfect. Now, don't start yet. So when they walk, I'm taking photos, but I'm really just getting my exposure. I'm getting them warmed up to the idea that I'm photographing them. So go ahead, guys. You can just walk away. Just look at each other, look up, look down, look all around. Cute. Kind of go nose to nose. You can lean in. Perfect. All right. I take a few photos, but normally they're not the most attractive thing in the world because it's their butts. So you guys are going to turn around and face me. Stay right there. And now we can actually go back to the HDMI so they can see what we do as we shoot. So now what I'm going to have them do, I just want to make sure you see it, and we are going to the HDMI. You guys are going to walk back towards me, but this time you have to do it drunk. So you have to hold on to each other. Do it drunk. Like she's like, oh yeah, I know what that's like. So you got to really hold on to each other. You can go kind of back and forth. Don't go off the stage, please. But really hold each other up. And look how their posture even changed. They didn't do the typical, hold hands. They did something a little bit more close and connected. I'm sure you all hold hands with your significant other, but if you really want to be close, your hips touch, right? All right, so you guys are going to do a very slow, drunk walk towards me, and super drunk, but super flirty, because, you're coming home. It's at the end. So go ahead, super drunk, super flirty, cute. Love it. Nice. And I'm keeping this on TTL just so you guys know. So as they come forward, it's going to keep changing the lighting exposure for me. TTL? Oh, 50 millimeter 1.2 lens. Yeah. And my settings ended up at 200 shutter speed, 3.2 aperture, and ISO 40. So you guys are going to do the exact same thing again, but this time when you're acting drunk, lean in towards each other like you're holding each other up. All right, so go ahead, walk towards me, act super drunk, nice, cute, perfect. All right, you guys can go back over there. And it's kind of fun, you know, that's the first thing that you do with them. It sets the tone for the rest of the day. So do it drunk. Look how cute you are. You're a very cute drunk. It just sets the tone for the entire time. They're doing something fun. They're automatically laughing. Now, another thing I really love to do, and I'm going to have you guys take a little step this way. Yep. And you're going to switch spots and turn in towards each other. Just wrap your arms around each other. Yeah. And I'm going to have you actually even go a little bit more. So you're going to come up on that. Yeah. I'm trying to flatten the light out here. Come this way towards me. Alexandra, come together right there. Perfect. So what you're going to do, get super close. Your hips are going to touch. People in love, their hips touch for obvious reasons. That girl got it. So what you're going to do next, you're going to trace her face. So you're just going to, Alexandra, you can actually keep your hands up in here like you're super cold, like scrunch it in, like your elbows come in, like you're really cold. Nice. And then this hand, go ahead and trace her face, just kind of like with maybe your finger, yep, and get really close to each other like that. Nice. Go nose to nose and trace her whole face. Go down to her chin. Cute. Love that. Alexandra, look at me. Nice. Perfect. All right, so she's just kind of adding a little bit of hand motion there. That TTL shot was not so great on that last one, but you get the idea. You get actual expression because essentially he's kind of tickling her a little bit and it's mildly awkward. So it's going to get even a nervous laughter out of them. One of the other things I like to do is called bump hips. So I'm going to have you guys hold hands in front like this. Yeah, and then Alexandra, you're going to turn your feet towards me. Manuel, you're going to turn your feet away from me. Yep, look towards each other right there. And you're just going to go back and forth and bump your hips together. So go ahead, go like out, in, out, in. That's cute. Perfect. Alexandra, look at me. Cute, and then look down, and then go nose to nose. Nice. And the fun thing about using an action with any kind of movement is every little part is different. And they're going to react to that. Now, you guys actually did that really well. I've had couples where they've done it, and they both start kind of doing like one of these little like back and forth, like really awkward things. You guys did a really good job. And then the last thing that's just one of my go-tos, and by the way, you can do this kind of with any type of pose at all. So Manuel, you're going to turn towards me. And you're going to come behind Alexandra and kind of like give her a bear hug around her this way. Yep. And just you can hold on to his hands here. So this is a really good example. Alexandra knows she's a little taller than Manuel. So naturally, she kind of went like this. But since I'm only photographing here to here, what you do is you just spread your legs. That's it. All right. So now she's a little bit shorter, and you keep your legs together. And then turn your shoulder into him. So push that shoulder into him. Perfect. Manuel, you're going to take a little step this way so I can see more of you. And then this hand can hold on to him here. Just going to move your hair around. Nice. And then get your heads nice and close together. And sorry, you guys can actually make a little turn. That's a nice dance. There we go. So now, Alexandra, turn your head into him. And Manuel, you're going to look right at her. Find your favorite nose hair. And then tell her the weirdest thing that you like about her. I don't know if you could hear that, but she went, oh my God. And that's usually the kind of expression. One of the times where I did this, and if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see it. I asked the guy to tell the girl what was the weirdest thing that he liked about his fiance. And he said out loud for all of us to hear, including the viewers at home that we were live streaming to. Oh, I love your stinky feet. She was mortified, but it's pinned to the top of my Facebook page. You can go look at that. So your goal is to snap the reaction. Now, a lot of times when we do this, go ahead, just get together, put your, kind of do that hug right there. A lot of times what happens is we go like this. So go ahead, snuggle it in there, and then Manuel, you're gonna just go ahead and find your favorite nose hair on her nose hair. Just find a favorite, yep, perfect. And then, oh my gosh, it's so funny, it's so cute, and then we're not taking the photo. You ever do that? You're like, oh, let's live in the moment and forget to take the photo. So you want to make sure that your goal is to snap whatever reaction comes. Sometimes it's a weird reaction first, and that's okay. You guys can relax for a second. This particular reaction here, I asked him, have you ever seen a movie, a romantic movie poster? They're all exactly the same. It's the guy holding on to the partner's face and pulling him in, and she's pulling him back. He's like, yeah, I got that. I know that pose. So he goes to do it and then just gives like a clutch. I'm like, no, rom-com, not horror movie, all right? But so I said that, and then that's the reaction that came. And it's a ridiculous photo, but that's them. And that's the photo that they chose to share first online. The very first wedding photo out of the 50 of the photos that I had given them that day. Your goal is to add movement, especially if you happen to be working with a videographer. A videographer does not need super static poses. So what I used to do a lot of times with my clients, go ahead and hook elbows, guys. That's really cute. And it kind of, these pictures aren't going to be horrible, but if I go, all right, guys, look towards me, you can smile, nice, and look at each other. Cute. Now, Alexandra, look at me, but Manuel, look at her. Alexandra, look down. All right, look away from each other, guys. Opposite. Yeah, that works. Nice. And it's okay. I actually call that head circles, when you make people do head circles, like kind of all around. It's okay. But if I have a videographer next to me and they're doing that, it's going to look like a scene from The Exorcist. It's not going to look like a romantic wedding film, all right? They're cute, and they'd probably look cute together in an album, but it's not gonna work out. So whatever kind of style of photography you have, this will work. Because even if you have a more dramatic style, so let's do something a little bit more dramatic. Alexandra, you're gonna turn in toward, actually, switch spots. Let's do this. We'll play with our light too. Yep. Alexandra, you're gonna turn in, face him this way. Yep. And take one step to your right. Good. Get in nice and close. No, Manuel, you stay right where you were. Come in towards me. And you guys put your arms around her waist. Yep, like this. You can hold on to her here. And then you guys are both going to look off that way towards there. Alexandra, you're going to lean in a little bit more towards him. And both of you guys look that way. So even if you have like a more dramatic style, let me just, so I can see your eyes. There we go. Manuel, you can go ahead and look at me for one. Look at me, so turn your head this way. Actually, go all the way close to her. Your head, kind of lean it there. All right, so even if you have a little bit more, stay right there, guys. Even if you have a little bit more dramatic kind of style, you can still have that dramatic style, but just add movement afterwards. So go ahead, both of you guys look towards that direction, and now look towards each other. And do that thing where you're just bumping hips back and forth. Nice. Nice. Look towards each other. So Manuel, look at Alexandra. Nice. Perfect. All right, so it can work no matter what kind of style you're doing. I will say with a more dramatic or a more sharp angle of light, it's a little bit more difficult because I kind of have to keep their faces towards the light, but it still works just to add movement. The next trick that I love doing is do this trick called distracting them. So what I'm going to have you guys do, actually, do you mind sitting? Is that okay? Now, whenever you ask your clients to sit, don't give them any directions first. I don't like to anyway. I like to see how they normally sit and then pose them. So this is actually perfect. Alexandra, you're going to come kind of behind him and squeeze yeah, a little bit less, kind of like right here. So your face ends up there. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm going to move my light again so we got a little bit more gentle light. Nice. And you guys can actually come a little forward. Yeah, and I love what you're about to do. Kind of just right over his shoulder. You guys can maybe put your other hand here and you can hold onto her hand. Yeah, that works. Yep, and just get your faces together. Now, this is a really cute pose. So if I have you guys just look towards me, Alexandra, lean your head all the way in. Nice. And then go ahead, Manuel, turn your head towards her and just look down. If you distract them, they're going to become less camera aware. So that's nice with them looking down. But instead, what I want you to do with your hands that you guys both have down there, try to do this with each other. Yep, keep your heads close together. Heads close together. Yep, look down when you're doing it. Nice. Good. Alexandra, lean your head forward a whole bunch. So Alexandra, bring your head all the way this way. Yep, and now look down. There we go. Alexandra, look at me. Do you see how much more relaxed their faces got? It immediately takes them from camera aware to starting to think about something else. So whether I give them the task of kind of putting their fingers together, or I tell them, hey guys, just draw a little heart in the sand. I'm not photographing this stupid heart in the sand for the record. I'm just telling them to draw it. I don't actually care about it. I just want their faces to completely relax. Her face is so much more relaxed in this photo than the ones previously. Ultimately, no matter what I do with them, I always tell them if it feels weird, move. And I usually start the session like that. If it feels weird to you, you can move. It's not a problem. This photo right here is one of my favorites. It reminded me that I need to never stop taking pictures. Very often when we're photographing a client and we're going from gazebo A to gazebo B, or whatever it is that they want you to photograph them in front of, we kind of use that time to talk to them maybe, or maybe we kind of look through our pictures and walk to the next spot, or look where we're going and sort of think to ourselves or talk to our assistant and plan what we're going to do. But that's another point where they are camera unaware. This time right here, this is in Central Park in New York City, kind of one of the more popular places to photograph. We had started walking down, and I started walking away and looking at the back of my camera. For whatever reason, I remembered, oh, wait, I should probably actually look at what they're doing. And they started walking down separately, and just without him even looking, he reached back for her hands, and she grabbed them, and that's how he helped her walk down. And it was the sweetest thing in the whole world because it was just them, undirected, completely them. I could have never posed that with the two of them. And they love that picture so much. They love it even though the lighting honestly kind of sucks. It's not great light. It's not where I put them. It's just where that action happens. They love it even though there's someone doing yoga in the middle of them. Do you see that person doing yoga in between them? Yeah, there's someone doing yoga. They love this picture so much that they chose to send it out for their save the dates out of all the pictures that I took. So now all their friends think I can't light and I can't Photoshop people with yoga in the background. Great. But that is what they connected with the most. And then again, anything that you're having them do, if it feels weird, move. The next thing I'm going to show you guys, and you can come stand up again. Oh, we could have done this sitting down, I suppose. That's fine. You're going to come back towards that front, and Manuel, I'm going to have you kind of up a little bit more, and you guys are going to just go back as far as you can. Good. The next thing that we're going to do, they're called circles. And I have 3 sets of circles that I typically do that just give me a place to go when I'm having a posing brain fart. We all have them, right? You ever just stand there and you're behind your photo or behind your camera and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do next. I guess I'll just keep taking pictures and kiss again for the 600th time because I don't know what to do to pose you, right? So here are 3 types of circles. And this is from a speed posing course that I have. If you want more information on that, it's just speedposing.com. Teaches you how to do everything fast, from bridal parties to family photos, speed posing, everything. So we actually did this first one here. The first one here is called head circles. So you can have them in any pose that you want. Let me go ahead and have you guys in that kind of traditional back arms around each other. Yep, maybe holding hands in front. Cute. All right. This is where you just have everyone turn their head in a different area. Now, you could do it very simply and say, all right, guys, just go ahead and do head circles. Everyone look up, look down, look left, look right, look all around. Cute. Maybe back at each other. Nice. Alexandra, look at me. Cute. Nice. Perfect. And then just move their heads around. Now, you could make it a little bit more strategic, a little bit more specific. So for this, you're going to do the exact same thing. And I tend to like to be a little bit more directive. But to do this successfully, you have to say their name before the command, all right? Very important, because otherwise the other one is listening to the thing that they're not supposed to be doing. So here's what we do. Can we go to the HDMI feed so they can see this as we go through? So you can go ahead. Both of you are going to look at me. You do cheesy smiles, cute. Manuel, look at Alexandra, nice. Alexandra, look down towards your hands, cute. Get your noses a little bit closer together, good. And then both of you look away from each other, so opposite directions, nice. And then look towards each other again, cute. And then Manuel, you're gonna look at me. Alexandra, you're gonna put your nose in his cheek, cute, nice. So this whole time, I did not move, all right? I stayed in the same spot. I don't actually recommend that you do that, but I just wanted to show you the first circle step before the second circle step. The second circle step I call crop circles. So these were head circles, and then we have crop circles, not the kind like in signs. I know it's a weird thing. It's just how I remember to do this. So you're going to do the exact same thing, except take one step closer to me. Both the guys, yeah. I should have enough room to walk around. So hold hands in front. Go ahead and look at each other. Nice, cute. And then Alexandra, you can look at me. Perfect. Look down. Go ahead and, Manuel, smell her hair. Just breathe it in. Cute. Alexandra, look at me. Nice. And then go ahead, look at each other. Love it. Manuel, you can look at me. Perfect. And then, sorry for the cable, but I'm coming all the way around this way. You guys stay like that, just looking right at each other. Try to stick your chin out, Alexandra. Good. And then, Manuel, look towards her a little bit. Make sure this is getting what I want it to get. And then just go nose to nose. Can we go to the HDMI so everyone can see by chance? There we go. All right, now go nose to nose, guys. Sorry about that. All right, I needed to see because that was a little bit too dark. And look at the second one. And then if you guys don't mind, that's good. If you guys don't mind, just like go through all those pictures that we did so they can see what it is. So crop circles, you can do it with head circles. It's just where you're walking around them, preferably without a wire attached to you. And you go all these different crops, all these different angles, and do a 360 around them. The nice thing about this, and what I tried to show here with kind of blowing out the background and making a little bit of a silhouette, is if you have a more dramatic style, as you walk around, if you guys can like flip back through all those pictures that we just did, as you walk around, you get different lighting patterns. So it's kind of interesting. There's a silhouette here, but if we keep going back a little bit more. There we go. That's kind of like a split lighting for him. And then keep going back a little bit more. There we go. A little bit more flat light because I came back around. We can keep going through. All right, that one was overexposed, but it still has a different lighting pattern on her face. Would have been helpful to have a reflector on one side. And then we can keep going back. I think 2 more pictures. That one's a little better. One more picture. There. All right, that one was a little overexposed. Let me just take that one more time. There we go. That's what I was looking for. All right, so you have that kind of like flat light. Your lighting changes as you walk all the way around them. Let me just take one photo, and then I'm going to take this on TTL. So get in that exact same pose. Nice. All right. Just want to set my light so it doesn't do that again. So you've got head circles and you've got crop circles as you walk around. And the third type of circles, which is really my savior, I can't believe you've had a baby there the whole time, so quiet and well behaved. That's amazing. The third type is called body circles. So this is the ultimate, I don't know what the heck to do with them next. And I came up with this because I was frustrated with myself. You know, we're human beings. There are literally infinite ways to pose us, infinite. But for some reason, I can't think of one during one of these times. So this is what I do when I can't think of a darn single pose to do. I take one of them, and they start turning around in a circle. So you can start off like that. You guys are looking at me. And then, Alexandra, you're going to slowly turn this way. So bring your, yep, you can let go of his hand. Just slowly turn your body. Keep turning. Keep turning. Oh, that's really cute. Go ahead, grab his hand there. Nice. And lean your heads in together. Love that. And then look down. And then if you wanted to, you could even have crop circles and head circles while we do this. Now, Alexandra, keep going. Keep turning around this way. You can let go of his hand again. Keep turning. Oh, that's really cute. Stay right there. And just put your hand, this hand, right on his shoulder. And give it a little bit of a lean. And maybe stick your nose right in his chin. And you could hold her around the waist. Yep, and then Alexandra, just kind of go in with your nose right to his cheek. That's perfect. Nice. And then Alexandra, keep turning for me. So keep turning. That's really cute. Actually, just stay just like that. Get together. Oh, I like that a little bit better. Alexandra, turn your head towards me. Give a little head tilt. Perfect. All right, so we can show them those pictures there. All right, so as we go through, we're just turning her a little bit. And then when you're done with that, you can turn him. It's just things, and you'll notice I didn't have her stop premeditated at any particular time. I'm just like, okay, turn. Oh, that looks cute, do that. And then refine it. So I just want to give you all of these ways to make sure that you have somewhere to go. So you're not behind the camera just 100% panicking to death, right? We don't need that. And then, of course, you want to build upon this. So you've got your head circles, you've got your crop circles, and all of that. Great. Now, when you find a pose, tell them to do it drunk. Tell them to look at a nose hair. Tell them to trace her face. So you pile these on top of each other to both get different poses and get authentic expressions. So this is it for me for Imaging USA. But if you head over to the Rocky Nook book, they are having a sale on the book that I just wrote all about lighting and really easy lighting. I think they're having a 35% off. But thank you guys so much for hanging with me, and thank you to Canon for having me. Have a good rest of the show.